Let me know in the comments if there's a country that you want me to cover in the future. The lore of the lizard man of Scape or Swamp is a tantalizing tale that has captured the imaginations of many for decades. Nestled deep within the heart of South Carolina, this mysterious creature is said to roam the dense swamplands, its presence shrouded in secrecy and myth. Legend has it that the origins of the lizard man can be traced back to the early 1980s, when reports began to surface of strange encounters in and around the Scape or Swamp. Descriptions varied, but most witnesses claimed to have encountered a towering humanoid figure with reptilian features, covered in scales and possessing piercing yellow eyes that seemed to glow in the darkness. One of the most famous encounters occurred in the summer of 1988, when a young man named Christopher Davis reported a terrifying encounter with the creature. According to Davis, he was changing a flat tire near the swamp when he heard a strange noise and caught sight of a creature emerging from the shadows. Towering over him on two legs, with long arms ending in clawed hands, the creature let out a blood-curdling roar before lunging at Davis, tearing at his car with its powerful claws. Davis managed to escape with his life, but his story sparked a media frenzy and thrust the legend of the lizard man into the spotlight. Sightings poured in from all corners of the swamp, with locals and tourists alike reporting encounters with the mysterious creature. Some dismissed the sightings as hoaxes or the product of overactive imaginations, but others were convinced that something truly extraordinary lurked within the murky depths of the swamp. As the years passed, the legend of the lizard man only grew, with reports of encounters continuing to trickle in. In 2015, a photograph surfaced purportedly showing the creature prowling through the swamp, reigniting interest in the mystery once again. Skeptics argued that the image could easily be a hoax or a misidentification of a known animal, but true believers saw it as further evidence of the lizard man's existence. But who or what is the lizard man? Some speculate that it could be a surviving relic from prehistoric times, a living dinosaur that somehow managed to evade extinction and thrive in the remote wilderness of South Carolina. Others suggest that it could be a cryptid, a creature that exists beyond the realm of conventional science, lurking on the fringes of human understanding. Yet perhaps the most intriguing theory is that the lizard man is not a physical creature at all, but rather a manifestation of something far more primal and elusive. Some believe that it could be a guardian spirit, a guardian of the swamp tasked with protecting its sacred secrets from prying eyes. Others suggest that it could be a shapeshifter, assuming the form of a lizard to blend in with its surroundings and evade detection. Regardless of its true nature, the legend of the lizard man continues to endure, captivating the minds of those who dare to venture into the depths of Scape or Swamp. Whether it is a flesh and blood creature or something more ephemeral, one thing is certain: the mystery of the lizard man will continue to fascinate and intrigue for generations to come. A reminder that there are still places in this world where the line between reality and myth is blurred, and anything is possible. In the icy depths of the North American wilderness, where the winds howl through the barren trees and the snow lies thick upon the ground, there lurks a creature of unimaginable horror: the Wendigo. Born from the darkest recesses of human fear and desperation, the Wendigo is a monster of legend, a cannibalistic spirit that preys upon the souls of those who dare to tread too far into the wilderness. The origins of the Wendigo are shrouded in mystery and ancient folklore, with tales of its existence dating back centuries among the indigenous peoples of the region. According to legend, the Wendigo was once a human being who, consumed by insatiable greed and hunger, resorted to cannibalism in order to survive during harsh winters. But in indulging in this forbidden act, the person's soul became corrupted, and they were transformed into a monstrous creature with an insatiable appetite for human flesh. With elongated limbs and a gaunt skeletal frame, the Wendigo is said to possess an otherworldly strength and speed, capable of moving through the wilderness with uncanny agility and stealth. But perhaps the most chilling aspect of the Wendigo is its insatiable hunger, a hunger that can never be satisfied no matter how much flesh it consumes. It is said that once a person succumbs to the curse of the Wendigo, they are forever doomed to roam the wilderness in search of their next meal, driven by an unquenchable thirst for human flesh. The Wendigo is not merely a physical threat, however. It is also said to possess powerful, supernatural abilities, able to manipulate the minds of its victims and drive them to madness with its haunting whispers. Those who encounter the Wendigo are said to be plagued by terrifying visions and hallucinations, their minds twisted and tormented by the creature's malevolent influence. Countless stories abound of encounters with the Wendigo, passed down through generations as cautionary tales to warn against the dangers of venturing too far into the wilderness. One such tale tells of a group of fur trappers who, lost and starving in the wilderness, resorted to cannibalism to survive. In doing so, they unknowingly unleashed the curse of the Wendigo upon themselves, and one by one they fell victim to the creature's insatiable hunger. But the Wendigo is not merely a creature of myth and legend. There have been numerous reported sightings of the Wendigo throughout history, with many claiming to have encountered the creature firsthand. Some describe it as a towering figure with sunken eyes and a ravenous grin, while others speak of it as a shadowy presence that stalks its prey through the darkness. Despite the passage of time and the spread of civilization, belief in the Wendigo remains strong among those who dwell in the remote corners of the North American wilderness. To this day, there are those who refuse to speak its name for fear of attracting its attention, and many who dare not venture into the woods alone for fear of falling victim to its curse. Yet amidst the fear and superstition, there are those who seek to uncover the truth behind the legend of the Wendigo, to unravel the mysteries of its origins and understand the nature of its curse. Some believe that the Wendigo is more than just a monster, that it represents a manifestation of the darkest aspects of human nature: greed, hunger, and the primal urge to survive at any cost. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: the legend of the Wendigo will continue to haunt the imaginations of those who dare to venture into the wilderness, a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurk beyond the safety of civilization and the darkness that dwells within us all. In the shadows of the moonlit forests and the eerie silence of the American wilderness, there exists a creature of legend and terror: the Dog Man. This enigmatic beast, with its canine features and fearsome presence, has haunted the imaginations of those who dwell in the remote corners of the continent for generations. Its origins are shrouded in mystery, its existence debated by skeptics and believers alike, but its legend endures as a chilling reminder of the unknown dangers that lurk beyond the safety of civilization. The lore of the Dogman stretches back centuries, woven into the fabric of American folklore and whispered around campfires on dark, moonless nights. Tales of encounters with this elusive creature have been passed down through generations, each story adding new layers of intrigue and terror to its legend. One of the earliest recorded accounts of the Dogman dates back to the 17th century, when European settlers first began to venture into the untamed wilderness of North America. According to legend, these early pioneers encountered a creature unlike anything they had ever seen before: a massive, wolf-like beast that stood on two legs, with razor-sharp claws and glowing red eyes that pierced the darkness. Terrified by this encounter, the settlers sought refuge in their cabins, whispering tales of the werewolf that roamed the forests outside. But as time passed and the frontier expanded, sightings of the dogman became increasingly rare. Relegated to the realm of myth and legend, it wasn't until the 20th century that the legend of the dogman began to resurface, thanks in part to a series of chilling encounters reported by residents of rural Michigan. In 1887, newspapers across the state published accounts of a creature dubbed the Wexford County Werewolf, said to be terrorizing the local populace with its bloodthirsty attacks. According to these reports, the creature was described as a towering bipedal wolf with a fearsome howl that echoed through the night. Witnesses claimed to have seen it prowling through the forests on two legs, its eyes glowing like hot coals in the darkness. Despite efforts by local authorities to capture or kill the creature, the Wexford County werewolf remained elusive, vanishing into the wilderness without a trace. But its legend lived on, inspiring fear and fascination in equal measure among those who heard the tales. In the decades that followed, reports of encounters with the Dogman continued to trickle in from across the United States, with sightings reported in states ranging from Wisconsin to Texas. Witnesses described the creature as a massive, wolf-like beast, standing up to 7 feet tall, with powerful hind legs and a muscular humanoid torso. But perhaps the most chilling aspect of the Dogman is its intelligence. Unlike mindless beasts, the Dogman is said to possess a cunning and predatory instinct, stalking its prey with ruthless efficiency and striking without warning. One of the most famous encounters with the Dogman occurred in 1961, when a young couple named Robert and Betty Trespasser claimed to have been attacked by the creature while camping in the forests of northern Michigan. According to their account, they were awoken in the middle of the night by a blood-curdling howl, followed by the sound of heavy footsteps outside their tent. Peering out into the darkness, they caught sight of a massive wolf-like creature standing just a few feet away, its eyes glowing with a feral intensity. Frozen in terror, they watched as the creature lunged at them with razor-sharp claws, tearing through the fabric of their tent with ease. Miraculously, the couple managed to escape with their lives, fleeing into the night and leaving behind a trail of destruction in their wake. But their encounter with the Dogman would haunt them for the rest of their days, forever altering their perception of the wilderness and the creatures that dwell within it. As news of the trespassers' harrowing ordeal spread, the legend of the Dogman began to spread like wildfire, captivating the imaginations of those who heard the tale. Sightings of the creature increased in frequency, with reports pouring in from all corners of the country. In 1987, the legend of the Dogman received a further boost in popularity with the release of a song titled "The Legend" by Michigan-based folk singer Steve Cook. The song, which recounted the chilling tale of the Wexford County werewolf, struck a chord with listeners and became an instant hit, propelling the legend of the Dogman into the mainstream consciousness. But despite the growing fascination with the creature, skeptics continue to dismiss the Dogman as nothing more than a product of overactive imaginations and misidentifications of known animals. They point to the lack of concrete evidence, such as photographs or physical specimens, as proof that the Dogman is nothing more than a myth. Yet for those who have encountered the creature firsthand, there is no doubt in their minds that the Dogman is real. Their stories paint a chilling portrait of a creature that exists beyond the realm of human understanding, a primal force of nature that prowls the wilderness with impunity. To this day, the legend of the Dogman continues to captivate the minds of those who dare to venture into the untamed wilderness of North America. Whether it is a flesh and blood creature or something more elusive and supernatural, one thing is certain: the legend of the Dogman will continue to endure, haunting the imaginations of those who dare to believe in the unknown. In the vast and rugged wilderness of North America, hidden among the towering forests and misty mountains, there exists a creature of legend and mystery: Bigfoot. Also known as Sasquatch, this elusive giant has captured the imaginations of people around the world for generations, sparking countless debates, investigations, and sightings. Its lore is rich and complex, spanning centuries of indigenous folklore, pioneer tales, and modern encounters. Let us delve deep into the captivating lore of Bigfoot, exploring its origins, encounters, and enduring legacy. The roots of Bigfoot's legend stretch far back into the annals of indigenous North American cultures. Across various tribes and nations, tales of large, hairy, man-like beings dwelling in the wilderness have been passed down through generations. Known by different names in different cultures, such as Sasquatch, Yeti, or Skookum, these beings were often described as guardians of the forest, powerful and enigmatic entities to be respected and feared. Among the indigenous peoples of the Pacific Northwest, the legend of Sasquatch holds particular prominence. The term Sasquatch is believed to originate from the Halkomelem language spoken by the Coast Salish people, with variations of the name used by neighboring tribes. According to their lore, Sasquatch is a powerful forest-dwelling creature, large in stature and possessing incredible strength and agility. It is said to live in remote, densely forested areas, leaving behind only fleeting glimpses and mysterious footprints as evidence of its existence. Early European settlers to North America encountered similar tales among indigenous peoples, leading to the integration of Bigfoot-like creatures into their own folklore. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, pioneer accounts of encounters with large, ape-like creatures in the wilderness began to surface, adding new layers to the growing legend of Bigfoot. However, it was not until the latter half of the 20th century that Bigfoot truly captured the public's imagination on a global scale. The watershed moment came in 1958, when construction worker Jerry Crew discovered a series of large footprints at a logging site in Bluff Creek, California. The footprints, measuring up to 16 inches in length and resembling those of a giant human, sparked widespread media coverage and ignited a renewed interest in the search for Bigfoot. The following year, in 1959, journalist Andrew Genzoli coined the term Bigfoot in an article for the Humboldt Times, further solidifying the creature's place in popular culture. From that moment on, Bigfoot became a household name, synonymous with the mysterious and unexplained. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, reports of Bigfoot sightings and encounters continued to proliferate across North America, with eyewitnesses describing encounters with large, hairy creatures resembling the legendary beast. These encounters ranged from brief glimpses of a shadowy figure disappearing into the forest to more prolonged and terrifying confrontations with aggressive or curious individuals. One of the most famous cases during this period was the Patterson-Gimlin film, captured on October 20th, 1967 in Bluff Creek, California. The film purportedly shows a large bipedal creature striding through the forest, turning to glance at the camera before disappearing into the undergrowth. While the authenticity of the film has been hotly debated over the years, it remains one of the most iconic pieces of evidence in the search for Bigfoot. In the decades since the Patterson-Gimlin film, interest in Bigfoot has only continued to grow, fueled by a steady stream of reported sightings, footprint discoveries, and alleged encounters. Organizations dedicated to the study and investigation of Bigfoot, known as Bigfoot researchers or cryptozoologists, have sprung up around the world, conducting expeditions, gathering evidence, and analyzing data in the hopes of proving the creature's existence. Despite the efforts of researchers and enthusiasts, however, Bigfoot remains elusive, with concrete evidence of its existence continuing to elude capture. Skeptics argue that the lack of definitive proof, such as a body or DNA sample, casts doubt on the existence of Bigfoot, attributing sightings and encounters to misidentifications of known animals, hoaxes, or the product of overactive imaginations. Yet for many who have experienced a Bigfoot encounter firsthand, skepticism holds little sway over their conviction that the creature is real. Their stories are often compelling and detailed, describing encounters with a creature that defies conventional explanation. From the remote forests of the Pacific Northwest to the swamps of Florida and the mountains of the Appalachian region, reports of Bigfoot sightings continue to pour in from every corner of the continent. The enduring allure of Bigfoot lies not only in its mystery, but also in its potential significance to science and humanity. If proven to exist, Bigfoot would represent one of the greatest zoological discoveries of modern times, challenging our understanding of human evolution, primate behavior, and the biodiversity of Earth's ecosystems. In recent years, advancements in technology have provided new tools and methods for the study of Bigfoot, including thermal imaging cameras, DNA analysis, and unmanned aerial vehicles. These tools have enabled researchers to conduct more sophisticated and comprehensive investigations into the phenomenon, collecting data and evidence in ways that were previously impossible. Despite these advancements, however, the search for Bigfoot remains a daunting and elusive task, with countless questions still unanswered. What is the true nature of Bigfoot? Is it a flesh and blood creature, a surviving relic from prehistoric times, or something more elusive and supernatural? What role does Bigfoot play in the ecosystems of North America, and how does it interact with other wildlife? These questions may never be fully answered, but the quest for Bigfoot continues to inspire curiosity, wonder, and a sense of adventure in those who dare to explore the mysteries of the wilderness. Whether Bigfoot exists as a physical reality or merely as a figment of our collective imagination, its legend will endure as a testament to the enduring power of myth and the boundless mysteries of the natural world. In the depths of the remote countryside of the Americas, where the moon casts eerie shadows over sprawling fields and dense forests, there lurks a creature of terror and fascination, the chupacabra. This elusive beast, whose name translates to goat sucker in Spanish, has captured the imaginations of people across the continent for decades, sparking fear, intrigue, and countless legends. Its lore is as varied and mysterious as the regions it is said to haunt, with tales of encounters ranging from the desolate deserts of Mexico to the lush rainforests of South America. Join me as we delve deep into the captivating lore of the chupacabra, exploring its origins, encounters, and enduring legacy. The origins of the chupacabra can be traced back to the island of Puerto Rico, where reports of strange livestock killings began to surface in the early 1990s. Farmers across the island claim to have discovered their livestock, primarily goats and chickens, dead and drained of blood, with puncture wounds on their necks and bodies. At first, the killings were attributed to wild dogs or other predators, but as the attacks continued and spread to other parts of the island, rumors began to circulate of a more sinister explanation. Eyewitnesses claimed to have seen a creature lurking in the shadows near the scene of the attacks, describing it as a bipedal, reptilian creature with large red eyes and spikes running down its back. The term chupacabra was coined by Puerto Rican radio DJ Silverio Perez in 1995 during a broadcast in which he discussed the mysterious killings. The name quickly caught on, spreading like wildfire across the island and beyond, as reports of chupacabra sightings began to surface in other parts of the Americas. In the years that followed, reports of chupacabra sightings and encounters continued to proliferate across the continent, with eyewitnesses describing encounters with a creature that defied conventional explanation. Descriptions of the chupacabra varied widely, with some likening it to a large reptilian creature with sharp fangs and claws, while others described it as a smaller, more humanoid figure with leathery skin and bat-like wings. One of the most famous cases of chupacabra encounters occurred in 1996 in Canóvanas, Puerto Rico, when Madeline Tolentino claimed to have captured footage of the creature on video. The grainy footage, which aired on local television stations, purportedly shows a strange bipedal creature with glowing red eyes lurking in the darkness. While the authenticity of the video has been called into question by skeptics, it remains one of the most iconic pieces of evidence in the search for the chupacabra. As reports of chupacabra sightings spread, so too did speculation about the creature's origins and motivations. Some believed that the chupacabra was a natural predator, a previously unknown species of reptile or mammal that had evolved to feed on the blood of livestock. Others suggested that it was a supernatural entity, a demonic creature sent to terrorize and torment the innocent. In recent years, researchers have proposed alternative explanations for the chupacabra phenomenon, suggesting that the creature may be a misidentified known animal or the result of mass hysteria and urban legend. Skeptics point to the lack of concrete evidence, such as physical specimens or DNA samples, as proof that the chupacabra is nothing more than a myth. Yet for many who have encountered the creature firsthand, skepticism holds little sway over their conviction that the chupacabra is real. Their stories are often compelling and detailed, describing encounters with a creature that defies conventional explanation. From the remote villages of Mexico to the swamps of Puerto Rico and the deserts of the American Southwest, reports of chupacabra sightings continue to pour in from every corner of the continent. The enduring allure of the chupacabra lies not only in its mystery, but also in its potential significance to science and humanity. If proven to exist, the chupacabra would represent one of the most extraordinary discoveries in zoological history, challenging our understanding of the natural world and the creatures that inhabit it. In recent years, advancements in technology have provided new tools and methods for the study of the chupacabra, including DNA analysis, motion sensing cameras, and unmanned aerial vehicles. These tools have enabled researchers to conduct more sophisticated and comprehensive investigations into the phenomenon, collecting data and evidence in ways that were previously impossible. Despite these advancements, however, the search for the chupacabra remains a daunting and elusive task, with countless questions still unanswered. What is the true nature of the chupacabra? Is it a flesh and blood creature, a surviving relic from prehistoric times, or something more elusive and supernatural? What role does the chupacabra play in the ecosystems of the Americas, and how does it interact with other wildlife? These questions may never be fully answered, but the quest for the chupacabra continues to inspire curiosity, wonder, and a sense of adventure in those who dare to explore the mysteries of the natural world. Whether the chupacabra exists as a physical reality or merely as a figment of our collective imagination, its legend will endure as a testament to the enduring power of myth and the boundless mysteries of the world around us. In the dim glow of the moonlight, deep within the shadowy forests of North America, lurks a creature of darkness and dread, the Goat Man. This enigmatic and terrifying figure, part man and part goat, has haunted the imaginations of those who venture into the wilds for generations. With its origins shrouded in mystery and its presence whispered in hushed tones around campfires, The goat man embodies the primal fears and unknown dangers that lurk in the darkness of the wilderness. The lore of the goat man spans centuries, intertwining with the rich tapestry of American folklore and legend. Its origins are murky, with tales of similar creatures dating back to ancient times in various cultures around the world. However, the goat man, as it is known today, is most closely associated with the dense forests and rural areas of North America, where reports of encounters with the creature have been passed down through generations. One of the earliest recorded accounts of the goat man dates back to the 19th century, when settlers and pioneers first began to venture into the untamed wilderness of the American frontier. According to legend, these early explorers encountered a creature unlike anything they had ever seen before, a towering figure with the body of a man and the head of a goat, possessing immense strength and a fierce, primal rage. Terrified by these encounters, the settlers spread tales of the goat man among their communities, warning of its ferocity and the danger it posed to those who dared to venture too deep into the forest. As the legend grew, so too did the fear of the creature, with rumors of its existence spreading far and wide across the countryside. However, it was not until the latter half of the 20th century that the legend of the goat man truly began to capture the public's imagination on a national scale. In the 1950s and 1960s, reports of encounters with the creature began to surface in newspapers and local media outlets, sparking widespread interest and speculation. One of the most famous incidents occurred in the 1960s in Prince George's County, Maryland, where residents reported sightings of a half-man, half-goat creature lurking in the woods near an old bridge. According to witnesses, the creature possessed glowing red eyes and emitted a foul odor, striking fear into the hearts of all who encountered it. In the years that followed, reports of goat man sightings continued to trickle in from across the United States, with eyewitnesses describing encounters with a creature that defied explanation. Some claimed to have seen the goat man stalking through the forest on two legs, while others reported hearing its haunting cries echoing through the night. As the legend of the goat man grew, so too did the speculation surrounding its origins and motives. Some believed it to be a supernatural entity, a creature of darkness and chaos that had existed since time immemorial. Others saw it as a cryptid, a remnant of prehistoric times that had somehow managed to survive into the modern era. One theory posits that the goat man is the result of a failed scientific experiment gone awry. According to this hypothesis, the creature was created in a secret laboratory by mad scientists who sought to combine human and animal DNA in an attempt to create the ultimate super soldier. However, something went horribly wrong, and the creature escaped into the wilderness, where it has remained ever since, lurking in the shadows and striking fear into the hearts of all who cross its path. Despite the many theories and legends surrounding the goat man, one thing is certain: its presence continues to haunt the collective imagination of those who venture into the wilds of North America. Whether it is a creature of myth or a flesh and blood reality, the goat man serves as a reminder of the unknown dangers that lurk in the darkness of the forest, waiting to ensnare the unwary traveler in its grasp. In recent years, interest in the goat man has only continued to grow, with countless books, movies, and documentaries exploring its legend and the mysteries that surround it. Yet despite the increased attention, the creature remains as elusive and enigmatic as ever, its true nature and motives hidden in the depths of the wilderness, waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to seek it out. And so, the legend of the goat man endures, a testament to the enduring power of folklore and the primal fears that dwell within us all. As long as the forests of North America stand, so too will the legend of the goat man, lurking in the shadows and waiting to strike fear into the hearts of those who dare to enter its domain. In the murky swamps and dark, secluded lakes of America, whispers persist of a creature that defies explanation, the frogman. Part humanoid, part amphibian, this elusive being has long fascinated and frightened those who dwell near its watery domain. With a lore that spans centuries and a presence that continues to be felt in modern times, the frogman remains one of America's most enduring cryptids, a creature of mystery and intrigue. The legend of the frogman is deeply rooted in the folklore of indigenous peoples who have inhabited the Americas for millennia. Tales of beings that possess traits of both humans and amphibians can be found in the oral traditions of numerous Native American tribes, each with their own interpretations and variations of the creature. Among the Cherokee people of the southeastern United States, for example, there are stories of a creature known as the spear finger, a malevolent being with a long, sharp finger made of stone that she uses to extract the livers of unsuspecting victims. While not explicitly described as amphibious, the spearfinger's ability to shapeshift and blend into her surroundings bears a striking resemblance to the characteristics attributed to the frogman. Similarly, the Ojibwe people of the Great Lakes region have tales of a creature known as the Kichi Ojiji, a giant frog-like being said to inhabit the depths of the lakes and rivers. According to legend, the Kichi Ojiji is a powerful guardian spirit that protects the waters and the creatures that dwell within them, but it can also be vengeful and capricious, luring unwary travelers to their doom with its hypnotic gaze. As European settlers began to push westward across the continent, they encountered similar tales of amphibious beings from indigenous peoples living in the swamps and marshlands of the southeastern United States. These creatures were often described as half-human, half-frog hybrids, possessing the ability to breathe both air and water and move with astonishing speed and agility. One of the earliest recorded sightings of the frogman in modern times occurred in the early 19th century in Loveland, Ohio, a small town situated along the banks of the Little Miami River. According to local legend, a group of settlers reported encountering a strange, frog-like creature emerging from the river one moonlit night. Described as standing over 4 feet tall with webbed hands and feet, the creature reportedly let out a deafening croak before disappearing back into the murky depths. The legend of the Loveland frogman would go on to capture the public's imagination, inspiring countless tales and rumors of encounters with similar creatures in other parts of the country. In the decades that followed, reports of frogman sightings continued to surface from across the United States, with eyewitnesses describing encounters with creatures that defied conventional explanation. One of the most famous cases occurred in 1955 near Bishopville, South Carolina, when a man named Christopher Davis claimed to have encountered a creature resembling a large bipedal frog while driving home late one night. According to Davis, the creature leaped out in front of his car, forcing him to swerve off the road to avoid hitting it. When he got out to inspect the damage, he claimed to have seen the creature standing upright on 2 legs, staring at him with large glowing eyes before disappearing into the nearby swamp. Davis's encounter sparked a media frenzy, with newspapers and television stations from across the country descending on Bishopville to cover the story. Despite efforts by local authorities to track down the creature, it was never found, and the legend of the Bishopville frogman only grew in the years that followed. In the decades since Davis's encounter, reports of frogman sightings have continued to surface from various parts of the United States, with eyewitnesses describing creatures ranging from small, frog-like beings to large humanoid figures with frog-like features. Some speculate that these creatures may be the result of genetic mutations or experiments gone awry, while others believe them to be extraterrestrial or interdimensional beings. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the legend of the Frogman continues to endure, captivating the imaginations of those who dare to delve into the mysteries of the unknown. Whether it is a flesh and blood creature, a supernatural entity, or simply a product of myth and legend, the Frogman serves as a reminder that there are still many secrets waiting to be uncovered in the dark and watery depths of America's wilderness. In the heartland of America, nestled along the banks of the Mississippi River, lies the state of Missouri. Within its rolling hills and dense forests, among its quaint towns and sleepy hamlets, there lurks a creature of legend and mystery, Momo, the Missouri monster. This enigmatic and terrifying figure, part man and part beast, has haunted the imaginations of those who dwell in the Show-Me State for decades, leaving behind a trail of fear and fascination in its wake. The legend of Momo first emerged in the early 1970s when reports began to surface of a strange and fearsome creature lurking in the rural areas of Missouri. Descriptions of the creature varied, but most witnesses described it as a large, hairy humanoid with a grotesque ape-like face and glowing red eyes. Some claimed it stood over 7 feet tall and possessed immense strength, while others reported it had a foul odor that lingered in its wake. The name Momo is said to have been derived from the word Missouri and the term monster, reflecting the creature's association with the state where it was first sighted. According to local lore, Momo was said to inhabit the remote forests and wilderness areas of Missouri, emerging only under the cover of darkness to terrorize unsuspecting travelers and residents. One of the earliest reported encounters with Momo occurred in July 1971, when a group of children playing near the town of Louisiana claimed to have spotted the creature lurking in the woods. According to their accounts, Momo approached them with a menacing growl before disappearing into the underbrush, leaving the children shaken and terrified. News of the encounter spread quickly throughout the region, sparking widespread panic and speculation about the nature of the creature. Sightings of Momo continued to pour in from across Missouri, with reports coming from as far north as St. Charles County and as far south as the Ozarks. In the weeks and months that followed, the legend of Momo grew, fueled by a steady stream of reported encounters and alleged evidence of the creature's existence. Hunters claimed to have found large footprints and tufts of hair believed to belong to Momo, while farmers reported missing livestock and strange, unexplained noises emanating from the forests at night. As word of Momo spread, it captured the attention of the media, with newspapers and television stations across the country reporting on the phenomenon. The creature's fearsome reputation grew, with some likening it to the legendary Bigfoot or the infamous Mothman of West Virginia. Despite efforts by local authorities to investigate the reports of Momo sightings, no conclusive evidence of the creature's existence was ever found. Skeptics dismissed the sightings as hoaxes or misidentifications of known animals, attributing the reports to the power of suggestion and the human tendency to see patterns where none exist. However, for those who claim to have encountered Momo firsthand, skepticism held little sway over their belief in the creature's existence. Their stories were often compelling and detailed, describing encounters with a creature that defied conventional explanation. From hikers and campers to hunters and fishermen, people from all walks of life reported sightings of Momo, each adding new layers to the legend of the Missouri monster. One of the most famous encounters with Momo occurred in the summer of 1972, when a family camping near the town of Louisiana claimed to have come face to face with the creature. According to their account, they were sitting around a campfire late one night when they heard rustling in the nearby trees. Moments later, Momo emerged from the darkness, its eyes glowing red in the firelight as it approached the campsite. Terrified, the family fled into their camper and locked the door, but Momo persisted, banging on the sides of the vehicle and emitting a series of unearthly howls. The family remained trapped inside for hours, too terrified to venture out until dawn broke and the creature finally disappeared into the forest. News of the family's harrowing ordeal spread quickly, cementing Momo's reputation as a fearsome and malevolent entity. Sightings of the creature continued to pour in from across Missouri, with reports coming from towns and communities throughout the state. In the years that followed, interest in Momo waned as other mysteries captured the public's attention. Yet, the legend of the Missouri monster continued to endure, passed down through the generations as a cautionary tale of the dangers that lurk in the darkness of the wilderness. Today, Momo remains a symbol of the unknown and the unexplained, a reminder that there are still mysteries in this world that defy explanation. Whether Momo is a flesh and blood creature or merely a figment of the imagination, its legend continues to captivate the minds of those who dare to explore the untamed wilderness of Missouri, leaving behind a legacy of fear and fascination that will endure for generations to come. Deep within the forests of Virginia, among the whispering trees and winding streams, there lurks a creature of darkness and dread, the Bunny Man. This enigmatic and terrifying figure, part man and part rabbit, has haunted the imaginations of those who dwell in the old Dominion state for generations, leaving behind a trail of fear and fascination in its wake. The legend of the Bunny Man traces its origins back to the early 20th century, when reports began to surface of a strange and sinister entity haunting the rural areas of Fairfax County, Virginia. Descriptions of the creature varied, but most witnesses described it as a large humanoid figure with the head of a rabbit, clad in tattered clothing and brandishing a sharp, gleaming axe. The name Bunny Man is said to have been derived from the term bunny, a common nickname for rabbits, and man, reflecting the creature's hybrid nature as a humanoid with rabbit-like features. According to local lore, the Bunny Man was said to inhabit the remote forests and woodlands of Fairfax County, emerging only under the cover of darkness to terrorize unsuspecting travelers and residents. The earliest documented sighting of the Bunny Man occurred in the early 1900s, when residents of the area reported encounters with a strange and unsettling figure lurking in the shadows of the woods. According to their accounts, the Bunny Man would appear suddenly and without warning, wielding its axe with deadly intent before vanishing back into the darkness. News of the Bunny Man's existence spread quickly throughout the region, sparking widespread panic and speculation about the nature of the creature. Sightings of the Bunny Man continued to pour in from across Fairfax County, with reports coming from as far north as Clifton and as far south as Burke. In the weeks and months that followed, the legend of the Bunny Man grew, fueled by a steady stream of reported encounters and alleged evidence of the creature's existence. Hunters claimed to have found traces of the Bunny Man's presence in the form of strange footprints and discarded clothing, while farmers reported missing livestock and strange, unexplained noises emanating from the woods at night. As word of the Bunny Man spread, it captured the attention of the media, with newspapers and television stations across the country reporting on the phenomenon. Despite efforts by local authorities to investigate the reports of Bunny Man sightings, no conclusive evidence of the creature's existence was ever found. Skeptics dismissed the sightings as hoaxes or misidentifications of known animals, attributing the reports to the power of suggestion and the human tendency to see patterns where none exist. However, for those who claim to have encountered the Bunny Man firsthand, skepticism held little sway over their belief in the creature's existence. Their stories were often compelling and detailed, describing encounters with a creature that defied conventional explanation. From hikers and campers to hunters and fishermen, people from all walks of life reported sightings of the Bunny Man, each adding new layers to the legend of the Virginia monster. One of the most famous encounters with the Bunny Man occurred in the 1970s, when a couple driving through the woods near Clifton claimed to have been chased by the creature. According to their account, they were driving along a remote country road late one night when they spotted a strange figure standing in the middle of the road. As they approached, the figure suddenly lunged at their car, brandishing an axe and emitting a series of blood-curdling screams. Terrified, the couple sped away, but the Bunny Man pursued them relentlessly, his haunting cries echoing through the night. It was only after they reached the safety of a nearby police station that the creature finally disappeared, leaving them shaken and traumatized by their ordeal. News of the couple's harrowing encounter spread quickly, cementing the Bunny Man's reputation as a fearsome and malevolent entity. Sightings of the creature continued to pour in from across Virginia, with reports coming from towns and communities throughout the state. In the years that followed, interest in the Bunny Man waned as other mysteries captured the public's attention. Yet, the legend of the Virginia monster continued to endure, passed down through the generations as a cautionary tale of the dangers that lurk in the darkness of the woods. Today, the Bunny Man remains a symbol of the unknown and the unexplained, a reminder that there are still mysteries in this world that defy explanation. Whether the Bunny Man is a flesh and blood creature or merely a figment of the imagination, its legend continues to captivate the minds of those who dare to explore the untamed wilderness of Virginia, leaving behind a legacy of fear and fascination that will endure for generations to come. In the dark and eerie shadow of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, there exists a legend that has captivated the imaginations of people for decades: the Mothman. This enigmatic and terrifying creature, with its glowing red eyes and massive wings, has become an icon of American folklore, inspiring countless tales of mystery, fear, and fascination. But behind the legend lies a rich tapestry of lore and history, weaving together elements of the supernatural, the paranormal, and the inexplicable. The origins of the Mothman legend can be traced back to the mid-20th century, when reports began to surface of strange and unexplained sightings in and around Point Pleasant. The first documented encounter with the creature occurred on November 12, 1966, when 5 men working at a nearby cemetery claimed to have seen a large winged creature swooping low over their heads. According to their accounts, the creature was humanoid in shape, standing over 6 feet tall, with glowing red eyes and massive wings that spanned 10 feet or more. Terrified by the encounter, the men fled the cemetery and reported their sighting to local authorities, sparking widespread interest and speculation about the nature of the creature. In the weeks that followed, more reports of Mothman sightings began to pour in from across Point Pleasant and the surrounding area. Witnesses described encounters with a creature that defied conventional explanation, appearing suddenly and without warning, before disappearing just as quickly into the darkness. One of the most famous incidents occurred on December 15, 1967, when the Silver Bridge, which connected Point Pleasant to Gallipolis, Ohio, collapsed during rush hour traffic, resulting in the deaths of 46 people. In the aftermath of the tragedy, rumors began to circulate that sightings of the Mothman had been reported near the bridge in the days leading up to the collapse, leading some to speculate that the creature was somehow connected to the disaster. The tragedy of the Silver Bridge collapse cast a dark shadow over Point Pleasant, forever linking the Mothman legend to the town's history. In the years that followed, sightings of the creature continued to be reported, with witnesses describing encounters that ranged from fleeting glimpses to prolonged and terrifying confrontations. Despite efforts by local authorities to investigate the phenomenon, no conclusive evidence of the Mothman's existence was ever found. Skeptics dismissed the sightings as hoaxes or misidentifications of known animals, while others speculated that the creature was a product of mass hysteria or the result of secret government experiments. Yet for those who claim to have encountered the Mothman firsthand, skepticism held little sway over their conviction that the creature was real. Their stories were often compelling and detailed, describing encounters with a creature that seemed to defy the laws of nature and inspire primal fear in all who crossed its path. In the decades since the Mothman sightings first began, the legend has only continued to grow, capturing the attention of researchers, writers, and filmmakers around the world. Books, documentaries, and films exploring the mystery of the Mothman have proliferated, each adding new layers of intrigue and speculation to the legend. One of the most enduring aspects of the Mothman legend is its association with other paranormal phenomena, including UFO sightings, men in black encounters, and reports of mysterious lights and sounds. Some researchers believe that these phenomena may be connected to the Mothman in some way, forming part of a larger and more complex web of supernatural events. Others have suggested that the Mothman may be a harbinger of doom, appearing as a warning of impending disaster or tragedy. The connection between the Mothman sightings and the collapse of the Silver Bridge has led some to believe that the creature may possess some form of precognitive ability, able to foresee catastrophic events before they occur. Yet despite the many theories and speculations surrounding the Mothman, one thing is certain: its legend continues to endure as a testament to the enduring power of myth and the mysteries of the unknown. Whether the Mothman is a flesh and blood creature, a supernatural entity, or simply a figment of the imagination, its legacy will continue to inspire fear and fascination for generations to come. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to watch this next video on 10 legendary Japanese monsters.